Hello and welcome to Israeli Frenemies, the only news show co-hosted and co-presented by two activists from opposing political views. I'm Uri Zaki, representing the Israeli left.
And I'm Golan, representing the Israeli right. We may be from the same country, but we don't share the same views. So get ready to find out why. As a social activist who's been fighting for the last 5 years for the violated rights of the Israeli citizens of South Tel Aviv that were occupied by 100,000 illegal infiltrators, I can't really say I'm still surprised by the horrible crimes that are being committed by illegal immigrants who have no respect for our country. And still, this week, I couldn't sleep all night after night, after an 80-year-old woman was beaten up brutally when a 90-year-old illegal Eritrean tried raping her. This woman, who fought for this country, raised a family, now, after daring to go out on Saturday morning and walk her dogs in the streets of South Tel Aviv, her life will never be the same again. This horrifying crime led Israelis to march the streets and demand the country to take real action. But the only action it got was illegal Eritreans, men and women, and many children that are brought here to come up to our faces and say blunt on to the camera and to the people, this is not your country. Go back to Yemen, go back to Morocco, go back to Russia. This is our country now. Their true colors have been revealed, and not for the first time. As I was writing this, I got another phone call telling me that another brutal rape took place in our occupied neighborhoods. This time, the victim is a 40-year-old woman. Funny that alt-left propaganda didn't came out to protest against women getting raped. It's not a cause that's worth mentioning when the rapists are illegal infiltrators. After all, the alt-left radicals can't damage their ultra agenda that is most important, turning this country to anything but Jewish, and have open borders for all illegals to come and party. We had enough. The people of this nation had enough. Why should we keep on suffering these horrors while actions are not being done? We have the right to defend ourselves. We have the right to live in peace and safety in our homes.
This week, the world celebrated International Women's Day. It was sad to hear that, especially on this occasion, Rabbi Yigal Levinstein, the spiritual and educational leader of Mechinat Eli, spoke against women serving in the military using derogatory words about women and their sexuality. Mechinat Eli is a flagship pre-military college of the Zionist religious community in Israel. It is educating the best of the next commanders of the IDF, making Rabbi Levinstein's chauvinistic attitude extremely influential. Sadly, Levinstein is not alone. Israel has a lot to be proud of in women equality. We had a woman prime minister. Many of our financial institutions are led by women, as well as the academia, judicial branch, and more. Even in the military, there is huge progress in the last decade where more and more positions are now open for women, including battle pilots and combat infantry soldiers. Nonetheless, there are sectors in the society, namely in the Jewish ultra-Orthodox and the Muslim sectors, where women are discriminated and are treated as second-grade citizens. In this fight, we cannot allow Rabbi Levinstein and his partners to win. Women in Israel should be equal in all fronts. So it was revealed this week by Haeer Daily in Israel that apparently last year there was an agreement between Prime Minister Netanyahu and Yitzhak Herzog, the head of the opposition, to join forces around a platform for promoting peace with the Palestinians, where the Prime Minister apparently agreed, first of all, on a two-state solution, second, on a mutual recognition between Israel and the Palestinians about the country to be accepting Israel as the Jewish nation and Palestine as the Palestinian nation, and other very dramatic and possibly...
Not so dramatic,
I think it's very dramatic that Netanyahu, who's been in power for so many years,
Netanyahu needed to combine a coalition.
Right, but just for the viewers to know what we're talking about, he apparently this goes against what Netanyahu is publicly standing for and his coalition standing for, and apparently he agreed to do that. Eventually, it didn't work out because of the Amona crisis. So, I don't know, to me it's surprising, but
listen, in
not
the
surprising.
end of the day, Benjamin Netanyahu, our prime minister, represents a party behind him. He represents the Likud that represents the majority of the people in this nation. And he knew that no matter how much he wanted to assemble a coalition with Bougie Herzog, the head of the Labour Party, he can't do that because that doesn't fly with the rest of the majority of the public. Listen, in my opinion, we have offered more than Israel should have ever offered in the time of Ehud Barak when he was prime minister and he negotiated with Yasser Arafat, and he offered so much and still nothing moved, ahead.
That's 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago that are...
Okay, but I'm talking about Netanyahu.
That are still, when we're talking about those agreements and the Oslo agreements and what we did in Gush Katif, still we have people who want to drown us in the sea and evacuate all of Israel.
But we're talking about Netanyahu now, who apparently agreed to that. And by the way...
You don't know he agreed to that. It was, an offer. There were discussions, and we see the result in the end. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen, you're right. But he was, I don't know, he was part of these discussions, and this was an agreed upon paper. Now, just about what you said about the majority of Israelis not supporting this, I totally disagree in all...
Why? Because it's the truth.
No, it's not the truth. The Likud has 30 mandates, which means...
Okay, the Likud together with the Beit HaYehudi party, together with Lieberman party,
it's still not a majority. It's still not a majority.
The right-wing majority don't want this.
And all public polls show that there's still a majority for a two-state solution based on the 67 borders.
67 borders?
Yes, that's...
Show me the polls.
I will... Next week I'm going to...
Who did those polls?
All pollsters in Israel do that. Yes, it's not the same majority that was, let's say, 10 years ago, but still a majority. And I think by doing so, Netanyahu, forget about politics and forget about public opinion.
You shouldn't forget about politics, Suri, because in the end of the day, Benjamin Netanyahu is a politician.
I agree, but I want to say another thing. He's a politician, but he's also our leader. And our leader who apparently knows what needs to be done because he was willing to do that.
No, he doesn't know what needs to be done.
He was willing to do that.
No, he was willing to do that to survive.
He was willing to
have a wide
he
government.
Survives now.
So he could, he survived now because he joined Lieberman.
There was an option here.
He joined Lieberman in the end because he knew the public wouldn't accept him.
No, this is after. This is after. This is half a year ago. This is not.
We're talking about when they were talking about the discussion to join Herzog to the party. They showed in the end.
But he had a chance to make an historic change that he believed in.
No, he didn't believe in it.
Yes, of course.
No, he didn't. He believed in his survival. So the government has working on passing a law that will basically ban people that are considered to being cooperated with organizations that are against Israel and talking against Israel around the world and, spreading bad propaganda. The law says that they will be banned from coming into Israel. Not people who have, a certificate or an ID or a passport, but people that do not have any kind of...
Foreigners.
Yes, foreigners that are being suspected for doing that. So, look, my opinion is that this is long overdue. We have been witnessing for the last years the over-rising, hateful hatred against Israel with organizations, left radical organizations around the world that I keep bringing on, and you won't agree with me, like B'Tselem, like Breaking the Silence, like New Israel Fund, like J Street.
They're not foreigners, by the way.
What? I'm not saying, but the people who are working for them around the world are foreigners, and they're working very, very hard to keep on spreading the hatred against Israel. Now, in any other places, they will be blamed for treason. In other countries.
What are we talking about? First of all, they're foreigners.
But
how can they be blamed for being traitors?
If they would do it in their country. Wait, let me finish.
Okay, so please finish and let me talk to you.
I didn't bother you, so don't rush me.
No, but we have a schedule here.
In their countries, if they would do the same thing in their countries against their countries, they would be blamed for treason. And they would be called traitors.
So can
but here,
in
Israel, we have been waiting too long to make this.
Okay,
They're not should only be banned, but if we have people
executed,
in Israel,
right?
no,
and
they should
maybe
be
put on a cross
prosecuted.
or being burnt. Okay,
I don't know,
Mike.
you said that. It's your
okay, yeah, I
opinion.
know that it's your
You're a bit
tomorrow's
anti-Semitic,
platform.
no,
yeah.
I'm
Okay, so
saying-
first of all, you don't understand the law. I think the law is not about Israelis; it's about foreigners. So they can't be blamed for being traitors.
I said
Second,
if they were like
it
that in
seems
their
to
own
be-
country.
It seems
Don't
to me,
say I'm not understanding the law, Uli.
Okay, so in their own country, if you're coming from North Korea or from Iran, you might be right.
And we do have
but in
people
all
from there doing
in all
this,
democratic nations, there is this
spreading
notion of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech allows you to speak against policies you don't believe in. And now for Israel
not
to
when
be
it's
like
not
what
in
you
your
want
own
it to be,
country. Not
like a
when it's
North
not in your own
Korea
country,
or
no.
Iran, to
No.
ban people because of their thoughts and words, that's totally
Thoughts and
crazy.
words?
And by the way, this law also includes people who are speaking against the settlements, not against the state of Israel.
It is
not
the state
against,
of Israel.
It is not the state of Israel according to Israeli law. It's an occupied territory according to Israeli law.
Okay, you done
and to speak
shouting?
against settlements,
You're shouting.
and that will cause much more harm to Israel's stand in the world than from these people who are marginalized to speak in their own countries.
You don't
That's
need to
totally
shout.
crazy.
I hear you fine. Listen, in the end of the day, we are seeing the damage they're causing around the world, raising anti-Semitic incidents around the world, raising hatred, raising boycotts. An organization that boycotts Israeli products from settlements or not settlements.
Right.
An organization
European
that
Union.
An organization that's saying that we are killing people for no reason, that we are occupying, that we are going against
So by
people
banning them from
not living
entry,
here.
you think they'll shut up?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, they want to be in Israel
Not
so
only
much,
they'll
shut up.
Not only
no,
they'll
but
shut-
you'll be
they
accused for
wouldn't
trying
be-
to shutting their mouths.
I don't care what I'll be accused of. Because at
you
the
don't
end
care.
Of the day,
You're
I
like
want to
North Korea and
protect
Iran.
my
I
country.
understand that.
I want to protect the honor of my country.
Like
I want
North
to protect
Korea,
the
like
name
Iran.
of my country. You saying that makes you sound so stupid, Uli, because you
I'm sorry it seems
comparing
stupid to you.
democracy like Israel, which is one of the only, not one of, the only democracy in the Middle East, to North Korea and Iran really makes you look
I'm
out.
sorry. Maybe it's
Seriously.
more like Saudi
But
Arabia,
you know
right?
what? At
Even
least
in that sense, perhaps
it
Saudi
might
Arabia
not
is more
stop-
progressive
it
than
might-
what you're suggesting.
It might not stop them talk against Israel abroad, but it will definitely stop them from cooperating.
It will harm
with
Israel's stand in the
Let
world.
me finish
It
my
will show us like
sentence.
people who are
Let me
scared
finish
of
my
people
sentence.
saying
It
words.
will-
It's
oh my
about like
God.
thought
You can
police.
bear feisty today, Uri. It will at least stop them from cooperating
I
with
hear
people,
what you have to say.
with people
Makes
who
me-
are going against Israel from within. Our enemies from within.
It's not from
This is
within.
what we
These are
have.
international. So, our government is now promoting a new law called the Muazzin law. The Muazzin is the person who calls out the prayer for Muslims to gather and pray.
Yeah, 5 times a day.
5 times a day.
At 4
Some
o'clock
of
in the
them,
morning,
some of
5
them very
o'clock
early in the morning. This is done according to Yehuda Glick from the Likud party and others. There's no need for this legislation because we have a law against noise at night in Israel that is very rarely enforced, but we have that law already. And my belief and my interpretation of the fact that Netanyahu is so much promoting this legislation is to put the finger on towards the Muslims.
Nonsense,
I mean,
the nonsense
Jews were excluded from this legislation because there are Shabbat sirens that were excluded from this legislation.
Can you even compare?
And it's called the
not even a
Muazzin law,
comparison.
and we have a law already.
Okay, so first of all, Yehuda Glick, with all the respect to Yehuda Glick, and I have tremendous respect for him, really doesn't represent the majority of the opinion about it. But let me tell you,
Whenever
my
he's
opinion
not with
about
you,
it.
then he's not
And
the
you know
majority,
what?
right?
Exactly, because I represent the majority.
Of course.
I do.
Which
on
majority?
On every possible.
2% of Israel, perhaps,
Israel's.
are as extreme as you
You
are.
would have wished to have a percent of Israel.
wish they were
we see the
zero,
party you
but yeah.
represent, Meretz party. You're in the Meretz, and how much mandates they have? 4.
And you're in a
How
party
many-
that is not representing the Knesset at all.
I'm in the Likud party now.
You're with Oh, now,
yes,
so you joined.
But
So we'll see
doesn't matter.
whether they're going to be there
If
or
you're
not.
talking about my opinions and it's the right-wing opinions, then it represents
You're not
the
a
majority.
right-wing. You're in a radical
so what
right-wing.
Okay, whatever. I'm commenting to you about things that are not important.
You're right.
But we see the comments on
Maybe
social
we should
media.
have in the
By the way,
future,
you guys,
debate.
keep on going to social media and say your opinion. But on ILTV Facebook, because he doesn't have even one opinion supporting him, but that's okay.
None.
He represents the majority.
Right.
But regarding to this law, my office is in Yafo.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been talking to a lot of the office of the NGO I run is in Yafo, and I have a lot of friends in Jerusalem. Now let's put
Yafo,
an
Arab
let's put
town in Tel Aviv, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In what?
It's
Arab
an
town?
Arab part of Tel Aviv, yeah.
Arab part of Tel Aviv?
Yes.
I don't think there's such a thing, but how?
But it's predominantly Arab, yes.
No, it's not true. There's a lot of Jews there, and it's
No,
Tel
that's
Aviv
true.
and it's Israel, and
No, but
if you
Arabs were there always, and you came there.
You want to let me explain my opinion?
Please.
Oh, thank you. So we're talking about a law that is really, I don't think, should be even political, belong to the right wing, belong to the left side. I really don't think. I don't know, whatever you say about Netanyahu, I really don't care. I want to put it aside, and I want to talk about, real reality. I witnessed, when I was in my friend's house in Jerusalem and having a Shabbat there, babies that wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and cry, people that wake up, have like 4 hours to sleep before their job, before their work, and wake up from this. 5 times a day of crazy loud noise. What will happen?
There is a law in Israel.
What will happen? One will happen if the volume will just be monitored.
Nothing, but why can't you do it?
We're not asking to cancel it.
It's
not against religion.
You're right.
It's not against, freedom of religion. Nothing. Just monitor
But there
it.
is a law already. That's what I'm telling you.
But no one is enforcing
The minister, Gilad Arden, you think you're on his side, right? Gilad Arden, the minister of internal
Homeland
security, said that the current law is enough and you can enforce this law and there's no need in this specific law. The only reason for this specific law is to flag Muslims out.
No, the only reason for this law...
Netanyahu is learning from his master Trump.
No.
You're right.
The only, I wish he would, but the only reason
He's not a
this
good
law
student,
is doing... No, not at all. The only... You call it... Whatever. You call me extreme right wing, when actually I'm trying to tell you that this is a social problem that doesn't belong to anything.
Fine, but there is a law, the noise law in Israel.
The law is not enforced. And why is it not enforced? Why is it not enforced? Because of you. Because of you and your friends and left organizations that are saying...
Hold on, so all the problems in the world are because of lefties.
Exactly.
I'm telling the police where to go and where not to go.
For so long. Listen.
Is the police? Am I so powerful that the police is asking me what to do?
Because during the time, as time has passed, they have volumed it up more and more and more to the point that no one is messing with it.
But what does it have to do with me? I don't understand.
It's very similar.
I'm all for enforcing legislation in Israel.
It's very similar.
And I'm all for respecting one's religion.
לא יהיה כלום, כי אין כלום.
So, Bibi is still under investigation. We don't know what happened with it. He says nothing will happen because nothing happened. But we really don't know. So I don't want to, take sides. I'm hoping for the best. But what is most important in this area, in my opinion, is the fact that everyone are preparing for elections. Naftali Bennett from Abayit Yehudi, even Lieberman, I heard, the Labour Party is going crazy. Everyone's preparing for elections when nothing is really, being set on stone yet. I really want to ask you, do you really think that in case Benjamin Netanyahu would have, because even if he would have something against him and the police will file a report, I don't think he will resign. So what's the rush with
First of all, I think that if there'll be an indictment, by the Advocate General, he will have to resign. Although legally he doesn't have to. But we had his predecessor in office, Ehud Olmert, resigned once there was even an investigation. He had to resign.
but
and I
it's
think
two different cases.
I don't think it's that different, by the way. But I don't know yet.
He's a hardcore criminal, in my opinion. The most
because you don't like his
prime
positions.
Minister.
But,
no, because I think he's corrupted. And the court thinks
the
allegations. Not me.
The allegations are very similar. About someone from
and cigars from friends. Come on,
this
we're talking about
Olmert is now sitting.
Bribery.
No, it's not true. It's about the Talansky gifts, and it's very similar. And about 60,000 shekels, which is $20,000.
Yeah, that they could have proved.
Sorry, $15,000. But that's why he's serving. But that's irrelevant. I do think, as a political analyst, okay, not what I want to happen. I think that once there'll be an indictment, there'll be pressure on Netanyahu to resign. I don't know whether there'll be an indictment. As an Israeli, I really hope that our prime minister is not a criminal. Don't get me wrong. I really hope so. I hope that our country, I hope Netanyahu will be replaced in an election, and I hope the election will be as soon as possible.
What makes all the other parties, prepare so fast?
Apparently they think, like I do, that there is at least an option that we're going to have an election this year, and they want to be prepared. So Naftali Bennett called, as you said, for early election in his own party. Labor, by the way, has postponed. Its original date was a year ago, and they postponed it to July.
I think it shows about people who are not doing their jobs. Unfortunately, I can understand people preparing for elections, but this country has so many issues to resolve, so many problems. When I'm seeing Yair Lapid, for instance, I don't think anyone saw him for the last year and a half in the Knesset. He is so all over his campaign. He's campaigning around the country.
Yair Lapid here. I will agree with you.
And for me, it's a
although he's trying to be like a right-winger, like he talks about breaking the silence.
And we all can see through his fakeness. But
I agree.
But campaigning for yourself when you were elected to do
there are politicians. You said before that Netanyahu wanted to you and that's why he went for an agreement with Herzog.
He has to assemble a Knesset.
So they're politicians.
He has to keep his oath.
But I have something that maybe you would like, because in a sense, I think for both of us, early election is good, because I hope that both of us will serve the next Knesset. So there's also a positive sign for that. And also, I do think, and that you won't agree with me probably, or you won't fully agree with me, that this government is so bad that it's really need to go back to the public.
The most important question is, Uri, is if we'll both be in the Knesset, you think we'll continue fighting there like we are here?
Probably in Hebrew.
Probably in
Hebrew, with the speaker of the Knesset telling us time out and stop.
We won't have a producer and a director.
That's true.
Coming in and chilling us. But you know what? I think that if those people are so worried about upcoming elections, then they should show their public that shows them, no matter what party, that they're busy doing what they were chosen for and not campaigning from the first second they went in. For me, I'm sorry, but it shows about a divided country and politicians that have no ideology whatsoever.
No, but I think, unlike the United States, you don't know when elections are in Israel, and politicians have to be ready. Next week, we're celebrating Purim, and Purim is the Jewish holiday where you put costumes on. I want to tell you that I wanted to bring a Trump mask to the studio today, but I didn't find one.
But no masks looks like the original.
That's true. I'm not even trying to, but I don't know. What are you going to do for Purim?
I was thinking a lot about what costume to put, and I decided that I'm going to be a police officer. Because it's been always.
But you're criticizing them all the time.
I'm never criticizing the police. No,
about the Eritreans.
No, never. This is other people. You're confusing. I always support the police because for me, those people are the reason we survive in South Tel Aviv. And for me, what's very special to me in Israel is, we have a lot of issues. We argue a lot, left and right. But seeing, young kids dressing up as policemen, as soldiers, as fire
okay, we have some others. It's not everybody's around security.
And I saw a poll that I will actually back up, that the majority of the kids wants to be the heroes of this country. And for me, no matter what happens or how much you and your groups like poison their minds.
No, but you're showing Israel as if it's all like military country. We have many other costumes
fire
here.
department, police
there are
officers.
clowns and there are dancers and there are
For
many.
me, that means that
Game of Thrones.
They still get, because you can't fool children. They still get and inherit the real, true values of this country, and they love the people who protect this country. So I'm with them, and I'm going to be
even on that we slightly disagree.
I'm going to be a very cute police officer. So thank you very much for being with us. Join us next week on Israeli Frenemies on ILTV. Happy holiday of Purim.